Welcome back to 𝐒𝐭𝐨𝐜, everyone. So I'm going to go with you guys in the S&P 500. Again, this is the SPY. Our question is, are we going to drop into new lows of the year here at 360, or are we going to bounce back? Again, we do have our slight rejection to the upside. Typically, you would want to call this a shooting star. However, shooting stars typically are more useful when they are on an uptrend, respecting levels, looking for that rejection to the upside for possible continuations on lower. So again, we are getting this on the lower end of a pullback, and so not exactly as effective as a shooting star. However, this is rejection to the upside. So our question is, are we going to bounce back? What exactly has to happen? Now, keep in mind, we have Powell speaking tomorrow, 2 hours before market open. So what exactly may happen here? I'm going to go over all this with you guys. Now, before I jump into this, if you guys can do me a huge favor, smash that like button. If you find this video useful at all, hit subscribe if you want to see my daily game plan on exactly how I plan on playing into the market every single day. And if you guys are day traders or you are looking for very volatile breakouts that I mention every single day in the 𝐒𝐭𝐨𝐜 room, go to 𝐒𝐭𝐴𝐿s.com in the description below, and you will never miss a breakout alert today again. So jumping into the daily chart with you guys here on the SPY, one leading indicator that I want to make sure we do keep an eye on here before we jump into the SPY is looking at either the DXY or the UUP. Again, this is the dollar. If you guys want to see the US dollar, it has been giving us a lot of pressure to the downside on the S&P. As you guys can see here on the dollar, we are testing the upper end of a trend line that we have been testing, and we are wondering if we're going to get a rejection here. In my opinion, if we are looking for a possible rejection, we want to see a harami candle coming out. Again, that would be a short red candle coming out and closing inside of our momentum candle to the upside. That would be a bearish harami candle. Again, a red doji candle coming out within our body to the upside here. That is a possible rejection that we can have. That is a possible bearish setup if we are looking for that rejection on the upper end of our trend line here. So again, just keeping an eye on that. If that happens to happen, then in my opinion, the market could bounce back from lows of the year, and that is a possibility. Now, keeping in mind, we are testing lows of the year with a rejection to the upside. Again, our wick to the upside, wondering if we are going to continue on lower. So I would be looking at our strength, looking at exactly how much strength we do have to the downside, and do we have room to run to the downside. Looking at our MACD, as you guys can see, we have our increase in sell pressure, a continuation on our increases in sell pressure here with our solid red bars, looking for a decrease in sell pressure, looking for a continuation on these white shaded lines to show us those decreases in sell pressure. As you guys can see prior, we did get our decreases in sell pressure, got a continuation on those decreases in sell pressure, and we had a nice bounce, and then we got our rejection again leading into CPI, and then continuing on lower as we had Powell. So again, what we want to see happen is to get our decreases in sell pressure, look for our EMA lines ultimately to cross back up, our 12 cross back over our 26. This is our 26, looking to get our 12 to cross back over our 26, and then ultimately looking to see if we can cross above the median of our MACD to get that strong push. Again, the strongest rally that we had of the year, breaking above the median of our MACD. As you guys can see on the R side, this is showing us if we have room to run to the downside. Again, we are just jumping into oversold territory. In my opinion, now that we are jumping into oversold territory, we have been mentioning we have room to run to the downside, and we need to make sure we are careful to the upside. As you guys can see now, we would be looking for bullish divergence. I would want to see some type of higher low happen here. Again, we could possibly even pull back into lower lows and then possibly jump back out, look for higher lows from here, and then possibly look for confirmation when we finally do get our higher lows. Again, those higher lows are going to be very key. We could even possibly get triple divergence, continue on lower on higher lows upon higher lows, and then finally break out of oversold territory for that confirmation on momentum. As again, making sure we are continuing with that pivot with our 12 and 26, making sure they do cross if we are looking for that continuation. And that early signal again will be these white shaded lines, and we will make sure we are staying updated on this every single day. This is exactly what we're looking for as far as those levels to the upside. Again, getting that rejection from last week at 370 that we mentioned in the 𝐒𝐭𝐨𝐜 room. Now, looking at our levels here, if we are looking for that possible pushback higher, I do want to see if we can at least jump back over 370. If we can break back over 370, then in my opinion, we have room to run to the upside, at least test our 374 level that we mentioned from last week, and then looking to see if we can ultimately get a bearish setup on our 20-day moving average, possibly a momentum candle to the upside, and then possibly a doji candle coming out, and then possibly that evening star with that momentum candle to the downside, closing again below our doji candle here, making sure we are getting that confirmation on an evening star. Again, that is if we push back higher and we were looking for that setup to continue on lower. Again, with our 20-day coming back over and rejecting it, that would be what we would be looking for as far as a bearish setup if we did bounce back from here. But again, from here, we are just looking to see if we do continue on below 360 or bounce back over 370. These are the two key levels that we're looking for from here. And in my opinion, after that rejection, going to extended hours, we jumped up all the way up to 365, and then getting a red candle at the end of the day with that rejection, not exactly what we were looking for. So again, we are going to be careful with Powell speaking tomorrow. Not exactly sure what we should be expecting from Powell tomorrow. Again, he will be on early, so I'm sure we'll get some type of overreaction to the upside or the downside from there, and then just keeping an eye on our levels from there. Again, 360 and 370, very key levels. 360 to the downside, I would just continue to rise stop losses because you don't want to get that rejection to the downside for any given reason and then possibly bounce back, retest our 20, and then continue on lower from there. So again, making sure you are increasing in volume to the downside if we are going to continue on lower here is going to be very key. But again, with that rejection to the upside so far, we are again continuing with pressure at this point to the downside. And again, with that red candle at the end of the day, with our EMA line still pointing down here, and then our RSI also is still pointing down. So again, we are going to be careful going into tomorrow, making sure we are staying very careful going into tomorrow. But again, we will continue to take what the market gives us as we do every day in the Instables room, guys. Again, if you guys are not in the Instables room, I mentioned very volatile breakouts every single day in the Instables room. Go to instables.com in the description below, and you will never miss a breakout alert today again. And all of you Instables that come over every single day and support the channel, I appreciate everybody that has been. We're going to continue to stay focused on our candle structure, stay focused on our levels. And again, if you guys do like this video, it does help the channel grow, and I do appreciate it very much. And again, God bless you all, and I'll see you guys in pre-market.